All right, and welcome to another show of Stay Tuned with Troy and Howie. And we have a special guest on board today. And once again, it's Whey Jennings. And Whey, welcome aboard. And are you living in Nashville?
No, I live in Pennsylvania.
What?
Yep.
Do you really?
Yep.
No way. What part of Pennsylvania?
Central Pennsylvania.
Same here.
Really?
We're right down the road. We're right near Hershey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is too funny.
It probably would have been a lot easier.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, you don't have to give too much detail, but like, what part of Central PA? What county?
What county? I think Blair County.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That is so funny.
Wow, that's cool. I'm looking up at all your dates, and they're all kind of in the Nashville and Tennessee area and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, oh, he's probably based out in Nashville, like most of the country artists are and stuff. And sure enough, you're right down the road from us.
Yeah. No.
That's awesome, man.
That's great.
Yeah. That's cool. I like living in Pennsylvania, man.
Well, what brought you to Pennsylvania?
Oh, I fell in love with a woman. Actually, I came up here for a concert about 4 or 5 years ago. And I met my manager, Tammy, down here. She'd put on a concert in the caves down here in Alexandria.
Okay.
The Huntington area. And I asked her to be my manager when I came down here, and she said no. But she kept booking shows for me and stuff, so I kept coming back around. And then me and my buddy Dog put together this band out of Atlanta, and it turned out him and his wife lived in Pennsylvania too. So I went out to Western Pennsylvania to stay with him and his wife, and I met his stepdaughter, and we kind of fell in love, and we ended up getting married.
Wow.
Bought a house, and you know the whole story. You know.
Yep. I hear you.
Got it.
So now I'm in Pennsylvania.
Well, welcome to the state.
Welcome to Pennsylvania, buddy.
We're good to have you.
I love it up here.
Yeah, it is
Especially
nice.
the fall, man. The fall is beautiful up here.
Yeah. Winter, not so much, but yeah, I can go with the fall a little bit.
No, I love the snow, man. I always figured it was going to be blistering cold up here, which it is. Don't get me wrong. It is blistering cold.
It can be. It can be.
Down in Texas, when it gets cold down there, it's like a sharp cold. It cuts right through you.
Oh, really?
Up here, it's kind of more of a fluffy cold. It's cold as hell, don't get me wrong, but with the snow and all, it's just sort of, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't mind being cold here. I did mind being cold in Texas.
Okay.
you got me excited now because I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to see this guy. He kind of tours out towards that way a lot, but I mean, if you're in Pennsylvania, there's got to be some Pennsylvania dates coming up at some point.
Well, I'm supposed to be playing at Jaffa Shrine in Altoona sometime.
Okay.
I was supposed to be playing there with Confederate Railroad.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting pushed off because of the COVID situation, but hopefully here pretty soon we'll get that date in.
Yeah, I actually got to see Confederate Railroad at a fairgrounds before they even made it big.
Really?
And this was many years ago, and I can remember them playing it. It's like, you can just listen to somebody and say, wow, these guys sound professional. They're going to make it sometime.
Oh, yeah, man. Danny Shirley's a cool dude, man. Me and him are pretty good.
That is cool. Yeah, very cool.
So Whey, I'm just going to say Whey Jennings real quick. We're talking Whey Jennings, and we'll kind of get into your history and your background here a little bit, but let's give out your social media stuff. You're on Facebook, Whey Jennings, Instagram, Whey Jennings, Twitter, TikTok, all that kind of fun stuff. I've seen you on there, and you have a website, wheyjennings.com. You have you have your bio in there. You have a little bit about your tour dates and stuff and such. So December 17th, you'll be at Bold Patriot Brewery for a country Christmas. And you said you're playing with some people there, right?
Yeah, Kristen Tough Scott and Avery Robertson.
Okay.
Bang Productions is just putting it on. And
then the next night.
Oh, yeah, the next night we're going to be at the Nashville Palace with Tom Wopat for Cooter's Christmas party.
Yeah, that's awesome. Had mentioned that, and it's like Tom Wopat from Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, how did you guys get hooked up?
Oh, really? I met Ben Jones out in Luray, Virginia.
Yes.
He asked me to come out and do a small show for him out there and play with his band, the Cooter's Garage Band.
Okay.
We hit it off really good. I mean,
he's a nice guy.
30 times since then. And they're like family to me now. Him and Alma, they're really great folks.
Yep.
They booked me to do a couple of their Hazard Fests, and out there I met Tom Wopat and Catherine Bach.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Then I met John Snyder down the road. I did a show with him out in Louisiana for his Bose Extravaganza.
Okay.
So the Dukes of Hazzard family has become a pretty big part of my life.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, obviously, you know, Waylon, your grandfather, kind of had a pretty big song to go with the Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Oh, boys, yeah.
And who doesn't know that song? I mean, obviously, I mean that's what a song. Hey, you mentioned playing with John a little bit. Just by chance, you happen to know Jay Edwards as well, too.
Yeah, Jay Edwards is a good friend of mine too. Matter of fact, my band before I just went straight to Whey Jennings, I used to call my band Whey Jennings and the Cold Moses Express. And I met Jay Edwards probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We did a show out in Punta Gorda, I believe is where it was.
Okay.
Punta Gorda, Florida.
Yep.
It was a festival out there. And he had this album out called Cold.
Yep.
And I told him he looked like Moses, you know what I mean? So I said, you ought to call yourself Cold Moses. And he didn't think that was a good idea, so I just named my band that. So yeah, me and Jay Edwards go way back.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
We got to chat with Jay a little while ago, and he was a real nice guy. He was fun to talk with.
He's one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life, man.
Oh, amazing,
amazing.
He amazing boy.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that looking at him, but as soon as he opens up his mouth, man, he's just great, soulful voice. Like, oh my gosh, you know.
He came out and did a few songs at my CD release party out at Nashville Palace a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really honored to have him out there, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You had mentioned about playing with Ben Jones and such with his band, and I got to meet him as well, and it was just by freak accident. I was driving I was coming back from vacation, and I was driving through Virginia to get back to Pennsylvania. And I saw this place along the side of the road, and it had the Dukes of Hazzard car. It had the Cooter's tow truck out front. And I was like, What the heck is this place? So I pulled into the parking lot and I walked in, and sure enough, Ben Jones himself was standing in the back corner of the store. His wife was behind the cash register, and his daughter was even scooping ice cream. And I'm like, what the heck? And, and I got to talking with him, and you couldn't have met a more laid back guy than him.
Yeah, he's great, man. He really is. He produced my Live in Nashville Palace album.
Oh, nice.
He's the one who helped me that. And every album I've recorded since then has been at that place you went to in Luray, Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They got a recording studio in there. It's called the Good Old Boys Recording Studio.
Yeah.
Robbie Meadows has helped me quite a bit. And he's his bass player, but he's also the producer of all the material that comes out of there.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh my gosh, it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool bunch of folks, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
Big news on the I guess just got announced actually. Dirt Rock Empire. You are now under their wing, I guess we could say, right?
Yes, that's what you can say. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I met them out at Blackfest this last year, and I really enjoyed talking to them, to Clay and them.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked to my manager and a buddy of mine, David, and they've helped me out quite a bit because I don't really know much about the business end of things, you know what I mean? But I know a lot of people who do.
That's good.
But
so
we come to an agreement, and we signed with them, and it's been going great so far. We've recorded 3 videos this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming out in 2022. And everything's just been going great, man. I love it.
And that new album's coming out. You're mentioning there with the videos. It's If It Wasn't for the Sinning.
Yes,
and do you have a certain amount of albums you're going to be doing with this on this deal, or kind of how's that laid out? Is it just a yearly thing, or?
We're just kind of going with the flow at the moment. You know what I mean? I don't really want to get into particulars of it all.
No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
But it's going to be probably the biggest year I've ever had this year. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, how long have you been in the business?
I've been doing this for about a decade.
Okay.
You know what I mean? but I wouldn't say I've been in the business that long. I've been playing music that long. I started out kind of not knowing nothing and just running around booking shows for bottom dollar, doing as many as I could around the country, you know.
Now, with your lineage, do you feel any type of pressure to not only perform but to put on an amazing show, or what's the pressure from playing and performing?
Well, there's not any really pressure, you know. I mean, people are going to expect what they're going to expect, you know. But
right.
I am who I am, and I just do what I do. You know, I've always sort of like had that aspect of it. I've always tried my best to put on the best show I can. I mean, I've never tried to be Waylon Jennings. I do play a lot of his music. You know, I love his music. I'm not only his grandson, but I love his music, you know.
You're also
a fan as well.
Huge fan.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, was he around a lot when you were growing up?
Quite a bit. You know, he was on the road just like I am. You know, he wasn't. It wasn't like I was at his table every Sunday or nothing like that. You know, I mean, I got to see him as much as I could. I mean, I got to see him when he came to town because I was raised by my mother. You know, we lived out in Dallas, Texas most of my life. So I seen him when he come to Billy Bob's. I seen him in hotels. I seen him in like Branson, Missouri. I went to his house for Christmases and Easters and stuff.
Oh, neat.
He was a great grandfather and a great man.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him as much as most folks see their grandparents, you know.
Sure. And I guess according to your bio on your website there, you kind of got your start actually with your grandmother, right?
Well, it was my grandfather, but it was my grandma's fault.
Okay.
Yeah. She come off stage with a microphone in her hand. She always used a wireless mic, you know. She sat it down in a chair, and I just kind of grabbed it and ran out on stage with it.
Okay.
So, I surprised everybody. But from that time forward, every time I see my grandfather, he called me out on stage. And it was all fun for most of my childhood, but I turned 13 and he called me out there and I froze like a deer in headlights.
Oh no.
So at that point I decided to go get a job.
Okay. Wow.
So I worked on the cotton farm for about 10 years before I even started my music career.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Was it pretty commonplace for some of your grandfather's friends to just stop on by when you were there? Like, I don't know, like the Chris Christophersons and the Johnny Cashes and the.
Well, that's a common misconception right there. I mean, they hung out, you know, I mean, time and again here and there, but it wasn't like they was all hanging out at the house all the time. You know what I mean? 'Cause everybody had their own careers. Everybody had their own things they were doing. Yeah. I mean, there was quite a few people at my grandfather's house for his birthday parties and stuff like that, but it wasn't like you stop by there on Tuesday and all of his rowdy friends were over there and nothing like that.
I got you. All his rowdy. I can love it.
That's a very big common misconception. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody had their own careers, their own lives, and they did their own things, man. It was very rare they were all in one place at one time.
So with you just signing this new label, what are the expectations of you? I mean, because you're living in Pennsylvania now, are they going to expect you to be somewhere else anytime soon, or can you do a lot of things from exactly where you're sitting now?
Oh, I don't hardly do anything from where I'm sitting right now except relax, you know.
Okay.
I'm usually on the road. I'm hardly ever home. So.
Oh, really?
I just got back from Alabama, and let's see, I did Alabama, and then I did Virginia. And next week I'll be in Nashville. A lot of times I'm out in Arizona. A lot of times I'm just all over the place, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very rare I'm at the house.
Yeah, it sounds like it. My gosh. So how often are you home?
Well, I usually do about 4 dates a week, usually.
Okay.
But this year is going to be a little different. This year we're trying to lay it out in tours. So most of my career, I've just booked all the shows I could and went and did them, you know. Depending on, no matter where they were going to be or whatever, we try to route it as well as possible. Sure. Like I do Daytona Bike Week every year.
Okay.
I do Sturgis every year. There's a lot of things I do every year, you know.
Like those are big events.
Hazard Fest, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are big events. What with this new album coming out, like do you have any idea when we're going to be able to hear some of these singles that might be popping up?
I'm thinking the early part of the year. I mean, right now everybody's trying to get through Christmas and the holidays and stuff like that. You know? So we just got the videos recorded. My album just got mastered. all the music should be to them by after Christmas sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be putting it all together. There's 3 music videos and 2 lyric videos coming out. So it should be, and we're going to scatter those out throughout the year. So it's going to be, I can't really give it a date on it right now, but if you just keep an eye on my social media, every bit of information we get will be on there when we get it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be able to find your social media all at Whey Jennings. I mean, your TikTok, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, it's all right there. And I'm sure you'll probably have information on your website as well. And that's wheyjennings.com. Well, I was going to ask something. I just had a brain freeze here. Howie, you got something?
Oh, yeah. I was actually going to ask, you know, with your name Whey, I mean, that's about as a perfect of a name for someone who wants to go on stage and start singing. Is that your birth given name, or is that something you use for your stage name?
No, that's my birth name.
Okay.
Just about anything other than my real name. I never got to know the real reasoning behind it. My dad said it was because he found it on the back of a cereal box. My mom
really?
said she got it from Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet.
Who knows? Maybe that story was on the back of a cereal box.
Yeah, because it's like whey protein, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They sell me by the bucket at Walmart.
I mean, in a way, it is kind of an homage to your grandfather too, though. You know.
Yeah, it's half of his name.
Right. So that, I mean, that's at least cool. You know, the cool part of it. I do know what I was going to ask you is, I guess, are you close with your Uncle Shooter or?
Yeah, we're pretty close. I mean, we talk to each other from time to time. Yeah, whenever we get a chance. You know?
I just wonder. I saw him in concert, and great show. Loved watching him. And I guess he had a little bit of a role in the Walk the Line movie. I guess, right? He played your grandfather in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So I didn't know if you had any insight or if you were around for any of that type of stuff or.
At that point in time, I was still working on a cotton farm. I mean, I didn't even have no aspirations of being a musician.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. And you don't need to divulge if you don't want to, but I wasn't sure exactly what your age was. So.
Oh, I'm 40.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, 40 years old. I'm getting kind of a late start at it, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I worked on a cotton farm until I was 30. So.
Oh wow.
And then my mama got sick. She asked me to do something in music, so I went about it the complete wrong way. And I just I got on Facebook, met some people who wanted to put on some shows.
Yeah.
The very first show I ever did was a David Allen Coe benefit in Louisville, Kentucky, after he wrecked his car.
Oh, wow.
And I did that, and I played a few bars, and then I started playing a lot of bars, and I was booking for next to nothing, man, pretty much gas money, you know?
Yeah, just to get out there and play, right?
It took a lot to learn how it actually works, so.
What was the biggest struggle to get to where you are now?
To get to where I'm at right now, probably conquering drug addiction.
Okay.
I was a drug addict and alcoholic for about 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Been sober now for 2 years, so
I
feel good now.
Congrats
on that.
Thank you.
Wish you the best, and I hope you keep going down that path. I know that's a tough thing when you get involved in that. It's a struggle. It's a struggle every day, and
actually, it ain't been that big of a struggle here lately, man. Now that I'm sober and I got all my kids with me and everything, life has been a lot better. I mean, I don't even know why I spent that much time doing what I was doing. But
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's good to hear.
I don't ever think about it. I mean, people can drink around me and all this stuff, and it don't bother me no more. So
okay, good.
That's great, man. That's great. I don't know your whole family heritage, but you know, obviously your grandfather dealt with that as well. And I know sometimes that can kind of be a hereditary thing. So so yeah, I wish you the best, and I hope everything keeps going good for you, bud.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, man, I'm married with children. I got a house. I got a vehicle. I got everything I need. So.
Plus, you're living in Pennsylvania. What more do you need?
Yeah, there you go. Snowplow is what I need.
There you go. Soon it's coming.
That's true. Oh, yeah.
Big yellow shovel in front of my house that I use.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, we've been lucky so far. We've been dodging the snowflakes so far. So
no, I've been waiting for it. Every time I've left town, I'm like, I'm going to come back to some snow. I've come back and it's just been cold. No snow.
Well, it's supposed to be in the 50s this weekend, so don't look for snow this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's going to be a little warm. That's what I walked out on my front porch earlier. Last night it was cold.
Yeah,
and then I walked out on the front porch today and it's sunny. I don't know what's going on with the weather.
Yeah, that's called Pennsylvania weather there, bud. Oh man. So when you signed this label, what are their expectations of you at this point in time? Like, do you have to put out a certain amount of songs or albums or what?
Well, I'm not so sure how that go. I had an album already recorded whenever I signed this deal, so I really don't want to get into. I'm not so sure what I'm supposed to talk about and what I'm not.
Oh,
supposed
okay.
to.
Gotcha.
I don't really want to talk about that too much.
Fair enough.
But I have signed with Dirt Rock, and we've been working on a lot of cool things. And hopefully, you'll see everything you need to see here coming up in the next few months.
Good. I look forward to it. Definitely. So,
I did get a chance to listen to the album you released. I guess it would have been last year, the Gypsy Soul, and the song that I really enjoyed that you did there when it was "Lead Me Home." Do you have a little insight on that? Kind of did you write that song first of all, or?
Yeah, I wrote that song.
Okay.
Right after my daddy passed, you know what I mean? And after my daddy passed, it brought up a lot of memories when my mama passed, you know what I mean? I realized I was kind of like an orphan.
yeah.
And I was out in Florida with my buddy, Rusty. And the band that opened up for it, which was a weird situation, they had a full band opening up for me and my guitar player. But they had this voice box thing that they sing through, you know, that they push a button and it sounded like a bunch of different people singing instead of just one person.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
I've never been big on using those myself, but as a joke, I pushed it and I just yelled, "Lord Almighty," and it just wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So I just kept going with it, and I just kept making up lyrics, and my guitar player joined in playing guitar, and I just made up enough lyrics till it was a whole song. And luckily somebody had been recording it, so I always went back and I learned it, and I put it on an album. So that's how that.
Isn't that incredible? That is so cool. What a story.
It was literally a gift from God.
Yeah, right.
Just all came to you as you're just sitting there messing around, really. I mean, was this like kind of like during sound check, or was this actually during the show? Or
it was actually during the show. Well, the show, it wasn't really like a big show. It was at a bar, and it was just everybody having a good time. And I was still drinking at that point in my life, and I was up there joking around, you know, because you know I like to converse with the audience and stuff in my shows,
right?
And it just sort of came out of nowhere. I started singing, my guitar player jumped in there and started playing guitar, and it just sort of all worked out.
That is so cool. I mean, it just came to you like that. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, that's like actually, and what is your guitar player's name again?
His name at the time, his name was Rusty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He doesn't play with me all the time. He plays with me every once in a while, though.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that kind of that reminds me of these rap artists that do these freestyles, I guess they call them, or whatever. Just kind of whatever comes to their head, they just rap about real quick, and whether it's jabs at other people or what. And that's kind of what you just did there. I mean, that's
exactly how I write. You know, instead of it being hip hop, it's country. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Guitar, and I just sort of make up lyrics to the guitar, and it's just how it's always worked out for me. You know what I mean?
How much do you end up going back and tweaking it after you actually kind of do that? Is it probably not much, huh?
A little here and there. You know what I mean? It don't always come out perfect. You got to go back and change it every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
It's a whole process, you know?
That's a unique writing style. I like that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It's whatever you're feeling, it just comes out, right?
That's the best way to do it, man, because music is a very real thing to me, man. And if I can't make up a song about a fake situation.
Sure.
You know, every song I've ever written, I've lived, you know?
So I guess that would lead me to my next question. You're probably not too big of a fan of other people writing for you then.
I have one song on this next album that was written by someone else.
Okay.
And, it's called The Gun.
Ah.
It was written by C.J. Garden. And when I heard that song, it rung through my bones, man. I loved it. And we recorded it, and then the rest is history, man. It's a pretty good song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really go out and looking for other people's songs, you know what I mean? But when they come to me and I can feel them, I'll take them and run with them.
There's just sometimes when people will cover a song, or not even necessarily cover it, but do somebody else's song that somebody else wrote, and it just there is more of a connection there for some reason, and I don't know why that is, but I guess it's the way they interpret the song, the way they hear it, and then perform it that way, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, we chatted with Brandon Davis.
Yeah.
And he did a cover of Garth
Thunder
Brooks'
Rolls.
song Thunder
Rolls.
Rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And just hearing that version of it, yeah, it just kind of like, wow, this was almost made for him.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. If you got to be able to feel a song in order to interpret it and to make it come across like you've lived it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to have lived it. You know?
Yeah, without a doubt.
You don't necessarily have to have written the song, but you have to have lived the song, or it's going to come across like you never lived anything like that. You know what I mean? You got to know what it feels like in order to feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do. What's the first song you remember writing?
First song I remember writing was actually a letter. It was to my grandfather right after he died. It was called "Missing You."
Oh, wow.
We've never put any music to it. We've tried, and it just doesn't. It doesn't do it justice. I've always done it a cappella, and every time I try to put music to it, it comes across a different emotion than the way I wrote it. So I never put it out with music.
Mm-hmm. But you still sing it, is what you're saying?
I sang it about maybe 6 months ago for the first time in a couple of years. I don't really sing it that often anymore. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of requests for it, but I'm in a different place in my head and my heart now than I was when I wrote that song.
Sure.
So I don't want to break it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's almost, even though it's not personal, it is personal.
Oh, it's a very personal song.
Yeah.
You know, it was a letter I wrote to my grandfather after
he
died.
Right.
But I don't want it to turn into a watered down thing. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, that makes complete sense for sure.
I want to keep living the life it's got, you know?
Yeah, the less you do it, the more real it feels every time. I think I know what you're saying there. Yeah.
Like you don't want to now in the mindset I'm in now. I mean, when I first wrote that song, I was heartbroken. You know what I mean? Right. I was tore up. And when I first sang that song, I was still tore up. Mm-hmm. It's been many, many years ago since we lost my grandfather. And I've lost a few people since then. And the pain is still there, but the rawness of that pain ain't there anymore. It's sort of like if you cut yourself open and you're bleeding, over time it just turns into a scar, you know?
Right.
But the scar don't hurt like the cut did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want it to seem like a watered down version of itself.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. I like what you just said there. That's a good analogy, you know, because that pain, you'll never be able to recreate that pain from when it first happened.
No, not at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe that the music is in the moment. You know what I mean? After you sing, like if you even with my grandfather, when he first wrote a song and it came out the way he intended it to come out, it came out. But over time, it changed and it grew into something else. You know what I mean? I don't want that song to grow into nothing else. I want it to be exactly what it was when I wrote it. You know?
Yeah.
And that's
Did you ever get to sit down with him and see how his writing process was?
Not his writing process. I mean, I never had a man-to-man conversation with him. I only knew him as a child.
Okay.
You know? I was 20 when he passed away, and we hadn't talked for quite a while before he passed away because I went through kind of a rough childhood. You know what I mean? I only made it to the 9th grade, started doing drugs and alcohol, doing dumb stuff, and just I wasn't somebody anybody would be proud of. You just put it that way.
Sure.
So I was kind of ashamed of myself in a lot of ways. So I didn't really keep in contact with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I grew older and I realized how dumb that was, but it was my own damn fault. But you know,
but you're here today. You're alive to talk about it, and you're really an inspiration for a lot of people. I used to work in the drug and alcohol field myself, and you know, and I've seen a lot of people go down a rough path, just like yourself, and not a lot of them make it out of there. And for you to be sitting where you are right now and signed to a record label and doing what you love doing, and I mean, yeah, you got everything to be proud of at this point. So
I'm very blessed, man. I've been very blessed. Yeah. I don't know how I made it through the life I lived, but I did. And
but you did. Yep.
And I'm very
well. It sounds like you got a very good support system there too. So
Oh, I got a great support system. I got 5 kids, a beautiful wife, a great manager, a great bunch of friends. I got more than anybody who's lived the way I've lived should have, for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like I was forgiven. I went to rehab about 2 years ago, and I learned more in 28 days than I did in 27 years of drug addiction.
Wow.
I came out, and I'm pretty thick-headed. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I said I was done, and I've been done ever since, you know.
Yeah. What a story. That really is great. It really is. I mean, I'm so happy to hear that for you, because it's such a shame when you see somebody, you know, and anybody in general, but in your situation, somebody that has so much talent and so much to give and just gets wasted, you know. My father was a fantastic artist. He could draw, paint, anything, you know, and just went down the alcohol road and never got out of it, and ended up having a heart attack at the age of 50 and in and out of prison. And you know what I mean? It was just bad. It was just bad stuff, you know? So I know exactly what you're saying there. And it's nice to see that you made that turn, and now everybody's able to benefit from what you have to offer us, which is a lot, because I'm loving what you're doing here, Whey.
Well, thank you, brother. This is my only addiction I have left. This is a nicotine views.
A vape pen.
I tried to quit cigarettes. I mean, I quit everything, and cigarette was the hardest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ended up having to vape to get off of cigarettes, and I'm trying to get rid of this after New Year. But
I think that's a small sacrifice to make from where you were, though, bud.
Oh yeah,
yeah, without a doubt.
It really is. But you know, I'm still kicking my own ass. I even quit eating pork, man.
Oh, you know it's serious now.
There for a little while, I got addicted to quitting shit. You know what I mean? So,
hey, what can I quit this week?
Yeah, right.
But no, I've got a really strong relationship with my family. I got a strong relationship with God, and I feel good about where I'm at in my life now.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So if you could pick and choose, like, somebody in the industry of who you would want to play with on stage, who would that person be right now?
I would say my family. I'd like to get something going with my family, really.
Okay. Your family meaning?
Meaning anybody in my family. I'm very strong family ties right now.
Okay.
I've gotten on stage with my daughter, I've gotten on stage with my son, I've gotten on stage with my Uncle Shooter, I've gotten on stage with Struggle, gotten on stage with my grandma. So I guess I've gotten on stage with everybody at one time or another.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I'd like to eventually I'd like to get like a
bring it all together, right?
You know, yeah.
Sounds like a family reunion in the making.
Hopefully one of these days.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's one of the things I got to earn, man. I mean, I was what you call the black sheep for a long, long time. And it was understandable, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't that good of a person. But I feel like I'm a good person now, you know?
Well, you seem like it.
I'm a good husband. I'm a good father. I'm a good musician. I'm dependable. And I feel good about who I am today. So
wow,
maybe one of these days everything will work out the way I want it to. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think so. It sounds like everything's getting right in line here for you, honestly. You know?
Yeah.
So again, talking with Whey Jennings here. Got all his Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all at Whey Jennings. His website is wheyjennings.com. Be on the lookout for his new album coming out in 2022. If it wasn't for the sinning, December 17th, he'll be at Bold Patriot Brewery in Nashville, Tennessee. And then at the Nashville Palace on December 18th with Tom Wopat for Cooter's Christmas party.
Yep.
When you did the live at the Nashville Palace, and I guess that was released in 2019. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That show, it was right before that show I found out my daddy passed. And because he was supposed to be there signing his books, because my dad wrote that book, you know, Waylon Tells of My Outlaw Dad.
Yeah.
He was booked there to sign books and to talk at the event. And I got a call right before that event that he had passed away.
Wow.
You know, so that was my very first performance the day after I found out my daddy passed. So,
and it's recorded.
And it's recorded live, yeah.
Yeah. So how? I mean, that had to be pretty emotional, no?
Yeah, it was. It was the hardest performance of my life, man. I wasn't expecting it, you know. But I went out there. I had to talk with my stepmom, Deborah, and who I love very much. and she asked me to do Jack of Diamonds because Jack of Diamonds was a song that my daddy pitched my grandfather that he cut. And so I did Jack of Diamonds. I learned it that night, and I went out there and we did it. And along with a few of my songs and a couple more of my grandfather's songs.
Very cool.
But,
I see on the CD you're ended with the good old boys. So that was
yeah.
Was there any hesitation to playing that show at all? Did it cross your mind?
No. I've always let out all my emotions on stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm most comfortable. I'm most comfortable on stage. I mean,
and it's probably the old cliche thing, like where I'm sure your dad would have said, "No, you play that show."
Yeah,
right.
Show must go on, man.
Yep.
Yep.
It's amazing that you're most comfortable on stage today, but when you were 13, it was the least most comfortable.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's when boys become men, you know. And it's just, I don't know, all my nerves hit me at that point in my life.
Yeah.
But when I started my music career, I was blitzed. So, you know, I had liquid courage and all that shit going on. I'll tell you what, whenever I got sober and I got on stage, it took a couple of weeks for me to get used to that. But now I'm perfectly comfortable. So it's all good.
That's great.
I was talking with Howie here before you came on, and I was Sunday mornings I worked at a radio station, and they would play a lot of country church music type things. And I remember playing a couple songs by your grandmother, Jessie Coulter. Did she record some country gospel songs or something like that? Or
quite a bit. She's got a
I thought so.
Background, yeah.
Yes, I thought so. I thought because I was like, man, I said I obviously knew the name, you know, from being married to your grandfather and such, but I said I know I played songs by her on the radio station. I know I did.
Matter of fact, her most recent album was Jessie Coulter, and she sings the Psalms. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She put music to the Psalms, so that was her most recent album.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, she's a very, very godly woman, and I thank God for her, man. She's been a very strong support system.
That's great.
And, she's been there for me when I needed her, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Glad to hear that.
So, Whey, you know, let's just go over your stuff here one more time. We got all your handles: Whey Jennings, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Your website is wheyjennings.com.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm excited to hear your album coming out in 2022. If it wasn't for the Synod, I'm excited to hear what you got on there.
It's going to be a great album. I mean, it is a great album. It's going to be great when it comes out, though. I mean, it's got a few songs I wrote before I got sober. It's got some heartache in there. It's got some very gospel-y kind of things in there. It's got I cut Hallelujah, and I put that on there.
Okay.
Wow.
And a bunch of songs I've written. If it wasn't for the Sinning, is a song about me. You know what I mean? How it was. How could I have ever been forgiven if it wasn't for the Sinning? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nice line. Nice line.
So, yeah, I got some really good stuff in there. There's Heartache and Serenade was a song about a guy who did wrong and cheated on his woman, and she wouldn't take him back, and she could care less about him anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very dark song. It's a beautifully written song. It's a beautifully sounding song, but it's really dark. It does not have a happy ending.
My wife would tell me that I'll love that song then, because she gets, every time we watch a movie that has some sort of weird ending that you don't expect, like she always wants it to be a happy ending, whatever. And I never want that. I want it to be something where it leaves you thinking or wanting what happened, or, you know. So yeah, I'll love to hear that. That'd be great.
This song right here is like worst case scenario.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
heartbreaking.
Like
really.
the last hidden verse of The Thunder Rolls, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this album. It was written before and after my sobriety. It was written it's just a lot of different phases of me, you know, and I'm proud of it. I know
you're not sure what you're supposed to divulge here or not, but do you know if the plan is to kind of release a couple singles and then the album, or the album just, you know, do you know how that's going to work? Or
I'm pretty sure we're going to release some singles off of it. I mean, I know that the album, that the videos we recorded and the other ones are, I'm not really sure how that's going to work yet. We're still in the kind of the process of figuring that out.
Sure.
I was just
But
curious.
it's all been made. It's all recorded. It's all mastered. It's all done. Been filmed. It's all. We just got to figure out a game plan of what we're going to be doing with it. What really what's going on.
But stay in touch on his social media, you know, wherever he at, you know,
all
his Whey Jennings.
Media, I promise you, there will be a plan divulged.
Yeah. And,
I just can't do it today. So.
Now that we know that you're here in Central PA, you know, next time we run into each other at the grocery store or something, you know, we'll have to say hi.
You'd be surprised how many people I've met at the damn grocery store.
Yeah, that's got to be something to, you know, carry that legacy with you, man. And you're doing a great job. And to be honest, you know, like you said, you know, Shuffle and Shooter, and I mean, you guys have all just done a great job on carrying on your grandfather's legacy. And I know he'd be proud of you guys. I know he would be.
I know he would be too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all doing our own things, and we're very blessed and very humble about what we do. We're not trying to ride on no coattails, but it's kind of hard not to be who you are. You know what I mean?
It is. It absolutely is. You know, and it's, you know, it's going to be hard not, you know, if you call a venue to get booked or if they call you, I mean, they're obviously going to know who you are. So you got to kind of use that a little bit.
Whey Jennings. I mean, your name, Whey Jennings.
And what's really cool is you're now that you're sober, you're creating a whole new legacy for your own children. You know, so now they have someone to look up to and respect and admire and be proud of. So yeah, man, keep up that good work with that.
That's what keeps my head on my shoulders right there.
Glad to hear that.
Kids. I have 5 kids, and I love them all, and I want them to have a good role model. You know what I mean?
Good. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like they do, buddy.
Yeah, you definitely got them going on the right path. So that's for sure. So what happens? Mm-hmm. So Whey, you know, appreciate your time here. Again, WheyJennings.com, Whey Jennings on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And, you know, as we release this, you'll be able to catch Whey in Nashville, Tennessee on December 17th at Bold Patriot Brewery. Yep. And then the next night, December 18th, with Tom Wopat at Nashville Palace for Cooter's Christmas Party. And be on the lookout for the new album coming in 2022. If it wasn't for the Sinning, I'm excited for that. So with that being said, Whey, thank you for your time. And if there's anything else you'd like to say, go for it.
Just want to tell everybody I love them and hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And just love yourselves, love one another, and have a good time with life, man.
Awesome. Good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks again, Whey. And yeah, good luck with everything.